then I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you just need a bad Nami in your life.
Like they say, right? It's a common saying, one bad Nami and she do what I say. So, three Infernal Dregs, that's a big ass Shaco. It's like the way of life for the most part.
Yeah, as you know, coming out of that game, that was a little strong showing for ABD in their first game of the season. Now they're sitting at around, I believe it is a 2-2 record. Let me just double
Hmm.
check, so I'm not gonna misrepresent them. But yeah, they are sitting around 2-2. Importantly enough for them, we are gonna see if, excuse me, uh, with the next couple weeks, it is gonna be very interesting. As in the standings currently, we do have a two-way tie for fourth place. And additionally, we do have a two-way tie for the sixth place, and it is pretty likely that we could see a potential three-way tie for the sixth place, which means tiebreakers for the standings, and as well, sixth place being the cutoff for playoffs means that we could see a three-way tie in playoffs, or excuse me, and tiebreakers for that. And we could potentially see, depending on how the game today goes with DN's record, depending on how they act against GME, we could see a three-way tie for fourth place as well, which could be a very interesting setup, but we'll just have to see how the season shakes out.
Oh, especially, and I totally agree with you, Stu. When it comes to just trying to near that top three finish, I really think it's important for people to know as well that the top six are the only six that are allowed in playoff forms. I really think, especially that right now we actually determined you only need 2 wins or something like that in order to actually qualify for sixth place, like bare minimum.
Yeah, assuming like the best case scenario for all the teams, I think I did a little bit of the math last night actually. You only need two wins
Were you
if
up
a
till
lot
4
of,
a.m.?
yeah, I mean, it might have been up until a 4:30. It was just kind of a
Well, that
desperate night.
last draft, we actually were only up till 1 a.m. So I think, that 3 a.m. difference, or the 3 hours additional difference would have done, wonders for our game, as you saw, the Zach. After that game, I said out loud, don't give me Zach. I don't think we go Zach. And I am on a Xin Zhao this time around.
Yeah,
So,
a little bit more of a meta pick. I think more people would consider
yeah,
Zinzao a
this
bit
is
of a
first
stronger
time.
champion.
Yeah, I am first time Xin Zhao here. Um, could you stream on Discord? But
Yeah,
this
I
is
could.
first time. This is first time Xin Zhao going up into the Karthus. We did actually see this Karthus earlier in the week. This is the Seas jungle. This is one of their comfort picks. I really like the Karthus here. I'm not sure how I like, no flash Karthus, especially when it comes to a lot of champions that have so much engage, so much damage. And you have the exhaust, sure, that'll nullify a little bit of damage or just slow your opponents. With champions that can easily gap close, the Silas, the Xin Zhao, the Ezreal, or even that, the Lantern or the Q from the Thresh, I really think that it's important here to have Flash. Sure, I guess it could be argued that the Karthus is more so being used for the ultimate and just all of that pressure that he does provide around the map. But it really is kind of questionable just going into this with exhaust.
Yeah, and I think it is just a little bit of the meta currently with Karthus. People aren't really sure what to take on him. You see teleport some games, you see exhaust, you see flash. People are really testing out with Karthus and seeing if anything will make him more viable. As speaking of viability, we do have this Ezreal in the mid lane who, we have seen a little bit in LCS. We've seen in some of the pro sectors, and now we're seeing it in KDL. Yeah, it does really have a strong matchup into these weak early laners like Diana, who had just such a terrible laning phase that it is going to be, just a little bit of a counter. It is going to be able to bully her. She's going to have to play on the back foot. As you can see, she's already chunked out of her HP, sitting on this corrupting pots. As in this bot lane, we have a little bit more of an aggressive lane. As Nautilus actually goes into the Thresh here. Interestingly, as the play and hook lands on top of the Nautilus, and it is surely going to mean death. As the exhaust goes on the Varus for some reason, a little bit of interesting. Maybe you should have potentially exhausted the Nautilus, that way you can't get away, but looks like Nautilus will be able to get away regardless, and not too bad of a shape either.
Yeah, I want to assume here that the exhaust is being used just to cancel out on any damage that would be onto the Kog'Maw, because Kog'Maw is a squishy opponent. We are looking at the Kog'Maw now flashing into the brush so that it denies any vision. But yet again, it is another stalemate here. They use so much. Wow, the wonders of watching these games over again.
Yeah.
But we are now looking at no sums bot lane. Kog'Maw actually flashing and healing into the brush to deny any vision again. Nautilus really wants to get things going. Karthus did start from top to bottom, so he is going to be exiting here. But nice pink ward there from Rocket guarantees that they actually do spot out onto the Karthus, so this should be no surprise here about anything like this. But they know that there is no flash on this Karthus pick either, so they really don't need to be playing as scared, but they still want to give a little bit of respect there to the Nautilus and what he can actually get done.
Yeah, and it's just playing just a little bit safer because it is that 3v2. As you can see, the mid laner dabbed twice. Or, actually, not dabbed twice. Oh my god. Damnation. Yeah, just the dabs getting all sorted up in my head. As the mid laner there was potentially looking to get on top of this Karthus, as it looks like he will just sack the crab and just hand it over, willingly getting double crab, kind of respecting that his laners do not have any kind of priority to contest these crabs. And if you're Damnation, that's really where you want the things to go.
I mean, you get the double crab here, which is really good for you if you are Damnation again. Just having so much vision on the immobile Karthus. Your team has a lot of mobility, and we were talking about this earlier. You know, Ezreal, not a pick that you traditionally see in the mid lane. Kog'Maw and Ezreal running amok right now when it comes to the bot lane. So what's the better thing than having one? Having both for the most part. And just having so much poke into the Diana as well means that unless she has the Q, you really don't do much. We are going to be seeing the Xin Zhao now tagging on that Karthus with the W. The Grump did go over to the way of the Karthus, I believe. Smite has been used as well. Silas now here for its potential re-engage. That will be the Xin Zhao that takes it. And Xin Zhao now trying to just get these wolves. The Q will land right on top of him. The flash now and the reset there from the Diana as well.
Yeah, nice play there from Diana, making sure that she's going to be able to pick up that Xin Zhao. Even with flash, due to the fact that she used her Q first, means that she does get an additional dash on top of her E, which will mean that she's allowed to pick up that Xin Zhao and get a nice little trade kill back. But with, you know, some vision being planted deep inside of Cease's jungle, that does mean that Xin Zhao has the capability to invade later on and potentially be a problem for this Karthus, who is notoriously weak early. The Nautilus hook will go a little bit wide. Thresh there playing a little bit too scared, as a Nautilus hook being down, not too much that Nautilus can do. And, you know, both of these bot laners having the same items, just a potion and biscuit advantage on the side of Varus. But Kog'Maw, if he's able to land that Q with such a deceptively strong ability, that will lower his armor and MR and allow a lot more damage to come out. So we'll have to see how this bot lane 2v2 will go, as both of these junglers here are on this bot side and could potentially look to impact this lane.
Not much happening now, though, right now. There is somewhat of a minor push here, or a slow push, rather. Xin Zhao now setting up a lane gank here. They know that the Nautilus does like to go for a lot of proactive plays and likes to push up. So I believe at this point, DN is being instructed now to allow the wave to crash or just to get choked out here. Rocket now going to actively put himself in harm's way so that they do guarantee the kill onto this Nautilus. And it does go the way of the Kog'Maw.
Yeah, and that's definitely where you want the goal to be going if you are a Damnation. You know, Kog'Maw is one of those champs that, with proper setup and with the proper team composition, can just 1v9 games if he does get fed enough. So it is nice to see, as he did get the lethal tempo build, so we will be seeing an AD Kog'Maw. You know, this game, I believe, was played before GME's Tank Kog'Maw game came out. Correct me if I'm wrong, Krim.
I would have no knowledge of that, but I'm just gonna assume yes.
Yeah, so we'll probably see a lot more of a bit of a standard build. I wouldn't be surprised if Tank Kog'Maw did not appear this game, as Silas here going really aggressive has the Malphite ultimate, but so does Malphite as he flashes and still walks into it. It's a little bit of an unfortunate play as he's waiting on the W. He's trying to walk it out, get the W back, as he is going to get it, and that is going to mean that he's going to be able to pick up this Malphite almost assuredly.
The Q fadeaway kill there, and it does land on top of this Malphite. Very unfortunate for you if you are the Malphite. Xin Zhao was able to secure that dragon, though, while they were doing that fight. There are multiple TPs here still available. There is no TP here for the mid laner of Damnation. Nautilus now clearing this pink, just establishing a little vision control. Crip walking their way into the lane.
Yeah, it looks like she's just going to help him push in the wave. You can see Diana here's a little bit low on mana. Maybe potentially just wants to shove this in and try and get a nice little reset off. As you can see her just shoving in the wave, and Ezreal here doing his best to trim it. But it is a non-cannon wave, so Ezreal could just look to hold this in front of his tower and get a nice little, you know, quick freeze. As, oh, just kidding. Diana sees Xin Zhao, both of them turning away from each other, neither of them wanting that smoke.
I mean, Diana does do a lot of damage. Granted, it is an electrocute Diana, so not the Conqueror Diana, you know, the one-shot Diana that we typically do see. True Shot Barrage not going to be used on the wave, like you said, just to cut it. It is not a cannon wave, so definitely can get a little bit of resistance there. Ooh, W not going to be procced on top of the Diana as well. Diana still has not been able to back or get a nice little back off.
Yeah, and we can see, some of the itemization differences coming out in a lot of these champs, and especially the farm difference in the top lane. Silas here just having free reign over the lane up. I think that's 40 CS over this Malphite. And
Yep,
you see Malphite here just really struggling to CS, even under tower, just not really able to make the ends meet, as he is going to cost him. He just came back to lane with a boots and an old magic mantle. Silas comes back with his full Ionian boots, and the Kindle Gem does mean he's going to be a lot stronger in this lane, as especially in the bot lane we see as well. Both of these ADCs picking up a key item in their kit. Varus picking up the Serrated Dirk, which really does allow that lethality Varus to start coming out and doing a lot more damage towards this Kog'Maw. And Kog'Maw here, being an attack speed ADC, picks up the boots, picks up a dagger that's pretty much full build at that point, as he is going to be able to just push out so much damage in these extended fights. So we'll have to see how both of these bot lanes take these fights going forward.
Sorry, I got ganked by my dog, but now we are going to be looking at a little bit of a fight here towards the top side. Malphite's HP just getting absolutely blown up for the most part.
Yeah, and looks like we did just have a quick little pause right there as Rocket did disconnect and come back. But fortunately, because it's a replay, we just have to skip all of that silly business about waiting around.
So that's actually something that he has a problem with. I don't know what that is, but it'll say he disconnected, but like he does not disconnect.
Oh, really? That is a little interesting.
Yeah, it's so weird. It's like, I don't know what it is. But Karthus is actually trying to set up a lane gank here, but it does look like Dab Nation are very weary of why exactly, Seas is pushed up, and it does look like Xin Zhao will be able to go across. They get a nice little death sentence onto the Varus. That is going to be a flash away. Xin Zhao still has that flash available as well. They do get the Karthus now, and that is going to be a Diana TP. Diana's still here in the fray, 1v2. That is not a Conqueror Diana, so she will go down to the Xin Zhao.
Oh, Kog'Maw.
Re-engage here.
How is Rocket still alive? I thought for sure he was dead. He is just going to hook the whole
through it all.
Yeah,
I guess he survived through it all. There's something about Rocket and alcoves.
Oh, no.
Oh
no.
Yeah, he's sure dead there. But there's something about that guy in alcoves. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I just saw him appear out of the alcove. Like, oh my god, you're still alive? As unfortunately, he does go down to the end, but that does mean that Cisa were only able to pick up one kill in that bot lane conversion, even having the extra TP there from Diana. But you can see the mid laner of Dab Twice there, of Dab Nation happening once again. And just able to push in the plates, does get 2 plates, and that is 320 gold, and that's equivalent to a kill. And unfortunately for Diana, not able to get a kill in the bot lane, so she is going to be a little bit behind in the gold, dropping down 30 CS behind this Ezreal. Or so that is the story of Cease, just dropping CS to their opponents, the only exception being Karthus, who is, fulfilling to his name, being a farm jungler, picking up these camps and having a nice little clear speed. But with Xin Zhao having so many kills, it almost surely means that he does have that gold advantage. As speaking of the gold advantage, we do have a little 5k lead as the supports give each other a little kiss there in the bot lane. Both of them going for this support vision, but unfortunately for Blue, not able to pick up hers, and that will mean that Rocket is able to gain control of that bush.
Yeah, and we are going to be seeing a little bit of a fight here coming out towards the mid lane, as Thresh actually is looking for an engage here. That actually moving up, will get hit with that death sentence. Actually just walks right into it. Point blank true barrage, does get juked out via flash.
Yeah, and you can see the Thresh is in the mid lane, so they're engaging here in the bot lane. As the Chains of Corruption comes out as well, we can see the passive stack detonated, and Varus able to pick up a nice little shutdown on Kog'Maw, playing way too aggressive when his support is out of lane.
Yeah, and it looks like they're trying to go for a re-engage here on the side of Dab Nation. There are 3 members here. Varus is incredibly low. Xin Zhao does have that ultimate as well. Xin Zhao now Thresh as well, trying to lead into the wave.
Yeah, as you see Thresh there.
Out on that Karthus is back here. Death Sentence does not connect.
Yeah, nice
so
little...
They're going to try to shove this.
Yeah, and they are going to be able to get the shove, and that is going to shove it under tower, and Kog'Maw really doesn't get punished too much. Zin's out here walking blind into 3 people. The Nautilus ultimate comes out. That's, oh my gosh, the damage is just coming out from all members. Ezra here having a lot of free real estate, as Thresh here gets a nice little hook before he dies, but unfortunately for him it is just going to be 1-for-1 trade. And, 1-for-1 trade, or excuse me, 2-for-1 trade, as Thresh goes down as well, and even the shutdown going over to the way of Diana. Things looking a little dire for Dab Nation, but they are still sitting up at a nice, comfortable gold lead. But if they continue to make plays like that, Cease do have an opportunity to make something happen.
I think for the play on that try was I was looking for a flower, but I found the Avengers instead. And it's very unfortunate. But, they do get the shutdown, though. and I believe that the shutdown went to Diana.
Yep, that is correct. It certainly went her way, and that is going to help her out a little bit. You can see her picking up the Magic Pin boots, which is pretty nice against this composition. Ezreal and Kog'Maw both being already squishy characters, and having the extra Magic Pin pretty much means that you're going to be dealing near to true damage against them. And it will be looking the way of Diana and seeing if she can potentially look to get a couple more kills, a lot more CS, and see if she can look to carry this game with Karthus. As you can see here,
Yeah,
Krim doing a nice little double camp. I see you. As most junglers
I'm
can do
first
that
time
double
in
camp.
Xin Zhao.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how to double camp, but that was my first ever attempt on Xin Zhao. This champion is very difficult to play. Totally cannot fly across the entire map with 1W. Absolutely a balanced champion for the most part.
Oh, yeah,
See,
so
I
you
just
did
learned how to do. I just learned how to do that on that specific play, believe it or not.
Oh,
And then see, I'm such a nice guy. I'm like, you know what? It's okay, Rocket, take it. You need some gold too, man.
yeah, you gotta look out for your supports, man. They're just so starved for gold. Sometimes they just need to take a kill or two in order to stay even. And
Yeah, I actually told him a couple times to actually come up top and go take my entire red buff, because I'm like, you know what? At least you get the cooldowns and you'll be able to do something else.
Yeah, you know, Thresh is a nice little auto attacker. People tend to overlook it a little bit, but with that red buff slow, it can matter a lot. As Diana here is just getting bullied in the mid lane, Ezreal just having free reign over this lane, sitting at 40 CS, having a farm bounty. Let's go. As Diana here is just really struggling to even catch the creeps.
Yeah, I mean, not much going on right now. This game is very, very slow at this point. I believe that both teams are just now looking just to, try to extend their leads or try to get things done. But Caesar is playing really respectfully, right? They're playing very, very safe for the most part. And like we said earlier, ABD was playing actively, DN was playing reactively. This time around, it is going to be, the other way around. Caesar this time around trying to play reactive as possible. Malphite, granted, has not been in the majority of fights since he has been just held here in the top side, so there's not really any potential for him to roam out, and as a result, we look at that 2k gold deficit when it comes to that top side. Just so much going on, so much being denied here, especially when it comes to Malphite even walking up. Malphite now forced to use that ultimate as well, Xin Zhao W not quite in range for potential re-engage.
Yeah, and we can see that Malphite is just so starved here. He's actually behind his own support and the enemy support, just not where you want to be as a Malphite player. And it's going to mean that there is just a huge top advantage for the side of Damnation, and the advantage being on Silas as well. This is not a champion that you want getting ahead. Just able to steal these ultimates and really play the game very smartly. As you can see, Damnation here also playing the game very well, using their prio, and they're not only getting kills, but you can see if you look on the minimap as well and look at their vision. You can see they have so much vision here on the red buff, on the dragon, and they're going to be able to track so much more. As you're here, and getting a nice little trade in the mid lane. But this is going to help them track that Karthus and make sure if they're going to be able to shut him down.
Yeah, they're really looking for a lot here when it comes to just tracking the Karthus. Like you said, he is a farming jungler. He is a jungler that, for the most part, is going to be AFK off the map for a little bit. And while he is doing that, you're trying to do the most that you can. When it comes to this game, though, Damnation still in control, a 4k goal lead at this point as well.
Yeah, as you can see, the ping's coming out. Damnation here looking for a fight, potentially on top of this Nautilus, as the Lantern there just for a little bit of peace of mind. Not able to get too much, but you can see the farm bounty increasing on Ezreal, went from 150 to 200 gold. He's just able to free farm, and Boo here stuck in the mid lane trying to protect this Diana so that way she can even catch any CS. As you see, Damnation playing smartly here. Finally, we see the bounty come out from Silas. I'm actually surprised it didn't come out sooner, but it finally does, as Malphite picks up the Merc Treads as well. It should help a little bit inside of the lane, but Damnation not really forcing too much around the map without the objectives to play for. You can see Dragon spawning in 2 minutes, and Rift Herald is up. But we see the jungler of Damnation here just sitting down here for Kog'Maw in case anything does happen, as they're going to be looking to take this bot tier 1.
Again, just trying to find a nice little rose there in the bush. Actually texted Rocket, mid-game, and I said, "Daddy's on the way home, kitten." And that's exactly why I was like down there. But we do see a tower now being taken in the bot lane and the mid lane almost simultaneously. Just in a second here as well. I do believe that we end up going for a fight bot or something like that. Spoilers, but.
Yeah, spoilers, but spoilers for the near future, as we'll be able to see this kind of come into action. As Silas here I finally realized that freezing is the way has entered the LS Church and is just denying Malphite so much CS.
True.
I don't think he's been able to pick up a CS in maybe like a minute and a half, and it's just so sad for him as he can't even walk up to the wave, not having enough vision, not knowing where Xin Zhao is means that he could just potentially get ganked at any time as he can only really catch the XP and already being
Mhm.
down so much CS just feels awful.
Xin Zhao truly living rent-free plus utilities in this Malphite's head. Actually, almost about to get Flame Horizon.
Yeah, and it's been a while since we've seen the Flame Horizon in KDL. I think okay as Karthus there, just
Okay.
maybe not expecting Ezreal's damage. As Ezreal able to hit the ultimate and then just easily Arcane shifts forward with the Q and is able to get the nice little kill on top of Karthus, and that is going to shut him back as Ezreal here as well is looking for these camps. Ah, Blue is able to secure the blue buff, but unfortunately it doesn't go over to the Karthus, so it's still a net loss. But you know, at least someone on the team is getting it, I suppose. As the same cannot be said for the Gromp, as Xin Zhao was sealed out with the dragon spawning in 10 seconds. You can see the pings coming out from Cease. They want to fight for it.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to this game, it's looking very, very scary if you are Cease. You can try your best, but you still have to deal with that Ezreal. You still have to deal with the Kog'Maw, these prominent picks that are incredibly, incredibly difficult to deal with. And so you need to make sure that you are playing on top of your game, and that will be the Xin Zhao, actually, who does summon that Herald. Herald now going to be collapsed in the mid lane as they do look for a nice little third dragon here in this case up an Infernal. And that will be the secure there from the Xin Zhao as well.
Yeah, and Cease being here so far behind in tempo that we're not able to get a Rift Herald. They were not able to get any dragons, and Damnation here on
Oh
so
my
point as the
god!
flash hook
It's a
comes out.
hyphy flush death sentence that actually does land on the Verse as well. Xin Zhao is in the backside. They are able just to get that Karthus off first blood. Diana is now here for a potential re-engage. Uses that ultimate, doesn't even land on top of anyone. Tries using that E in forward as well. Xin Zhao, nice little flash there with the Iron Spike to deny the Diana from killing out on his AD carry. Meanwhile, Malphite looks like he's bitten more than he can actually chew. Silas looking for a potential re-engage. Remember all of that W healing? I guess Malphite doesn't. And he's forced to flash now underneath the tower.
Yeah, as we can see Silas potentially looking to get something. He has
Silas.
flash.
Oh my god, that was such a quick combo. Silas insta-flashing. Oh wow,
Yeah,
actually
Silas. Yeah, Silas just knowing that Malphite is dead. Malphite getting Flame Horizon now and is gonna get much more further behind. That's not even English. Much farther behind, and the CS as the wave is gonna crash under his tower, and he's just gonna
That's
knock.
so unfortunate.
Yeah.
Arcane shift, he tried going for the 1 CS, just wasn't able to get it.
Unfortunate
Oh
for
my goodness.
him. As unfortunate might be the way this game is going for Steve sitting around 10k gold down. Damnation have the sole point, and they could potentially look to set up this Baron and maybe pull Cease into it and potentially look to bait them onto it, as Damnation are firmly in the driver's seat for this game.
Yeah, and again, if you are just joining us, this is restreamed game, so this game did happen previously in the week, hence how you see, I'm playing and I am casting. No, just kidding. I actually found out a way how to do both. But we are going to be having a live game in just a bit, in about 40 minutes time. That is going to be Damnation versus GME, so an incredibly exciting game nonetheless for that situation. Kog'Maw now picking up the red buff. So if you do wish to see some live Damnation or GME gameplay, just stick around after the stream. It will be Poseidon and Dilly who end up casting that one.
Yep, as you can see.
Really, just be careful here.
Oh, okay, the Nautilus ultimate will come out. We've seen this from Blue in the past. She does tend to be very carefree, happy with these Nautilus ultimates and just throws them out. As the hook will go a little bit wide, both of these teams fighting over this vision, but importantly, you can see in the bot lane, we have Dab twice there in the bot lane, taking the bot tier 2, and they really need someone from Cease to answer, but he's just going to keep pushing that lane down and has the vision, has the forward notice if anyone is going to try and come down, and should be able to play respectfully around that.
I mean, it's kind of like an ego check, right? If you want to mess around top side, I just get so much out of you from the bot side. Karthus now actually going to just get that WQ poked out. Nautilus on the other side as well. Actually denying any type of disengage here. Arcane Shift, though, ultimately gives Dab Twice a path to freedom here.
Yeah, and that was a smart play from Dab Twice, actually. I think most players would
God.
kind of freak out and instantly Arcane Shift, but knowing that he wasn't going to die instantly, Karthus not having enough damage, Nautilus not having that Nautilus ulti means that he can just kind of safely walk towards that play as the members of Damnation here are a little bit split, can't really decide, but are eventually going to decide on top of this Baron. As the pings are coming out from Cease, they are a little bit aware. You know, you see the missing ping coming out on the minimap, but this should just be a free Baron going the way of Damnation.
4 members of Damnation, very strong members at that. You can't really do much except, you know, just give this up. Sure, you could try if you were 5 members or even had the potential push, but without any vision control, you really don't know what's going on towards the top side. All you know is that Ezreal is bot and everyone else is just missing off the map.
Yeah, you can see once again when Damnation are looking to set up these objectives, they set up the vision beforehand into the enemy jungle, making sure they have a great knowledge of where people are going to be, if objectives are safe or not, and it's just nice, clean play in order to make sure that, you know, the only way you lose this game is if you do happen to throw it. With the game being so firmly in your favor, you really just have to make sure that you're not playing for the enemy team by mistake. So just smart play from them, as the dragon will be coming up in 1 minute, and you can see Rocket here already clearing the vision, setting up for this dragon. Nice little play to just secure it, and the teleport coming out means that Ezreal is going to stay on the map, and it looks like they're potentially looking for a fight here in this top side.
We do see those artillery shots being thrown out there. Now let's able to get out through the usage of the blast cone. Oh, Death Sentence does land on top of the Bears. Does get flayed out. Nautilus again using that ultimate there just as a precaution. Kaguma barely any mana to his name. Xin Zhao Dash now going to be just cutting off the Karthus. And there's not much you can do aside from just exhausting out on the Xin Zhao. That is a fed. Xin Zhao nonetheless. W-Tag will allow Xin Zhao to go over the wall. The box has been used as well. Silas stealing that Malphite ult just deletes the Varus. And this surely is a game here with the Baron, with 5 members of Damnation, incredibly strong and incredibly healthy. There's not much you can do if you are Malphite at this position.
Yeah, and I mean, even if you hit like a 5-man ultimate, it's just not enough. You don't have enough follow-up. As you see the Baron and Powder minions here just pouring into the base, and Teach just kind of have to watch as those towers get taken.
Yeah, I mean, this is just super, super sad for you if you are C's. You really can't do anything like you said. 5 members Baron, so much strength, so much power, so many ultimates available as well. Now it's now landing right on top of this Xin Zhao actually. Meanwhile, Malphite actually just ultimate right into the back line, gives Xin Zhao yet another kill. Ezreal able just to get himself another kill, but Damnation ultimately end the game there in 25 minutes.
Yeah, and a little bit of like a kind of polar opposite of games that we see. You know, Damnation really struggling in that first game against ABD, not really being able to make the ends meet, and it's just the opposite story for this game against Cease. Really showing that, you know, they might not be able to win against ABD, but they can surely win against Cease, and having a strong performance. And it really, you know, a nice little note to leave off on, as they are going to have their next game versus GME here in just under 40 minutes.
Yeah, and so we will be talking to you guys after that one. Thank you all for watching these games. Again, if you are just joining us, ABD versus Damnation. ABD winning that game really, really definitively. And then C's versus Damnation. This time around, Damnation evening out their week 1 score. Again, this is a restream, so the week 1 score was 1-1. Damnation now looking to go 3-1 with a win today versus GME. And again, that is coming to you guys live via Poseidon, and Dilly in about 40 minutes time. We will talk to you guys then. Peace.